There are hundreds of thousands of LEGO sets, and it's impossible for every single one to get the spotlight until today. Well, I'm not gonna highlight every single one, but there's some LEGO sets that are just so obscure that I've just found out about recently, and I feel like no one really got these sets as a kid. I guess our first one is this LEGO factory theme, and doing more research, it's actually the thing that allowed you to get your physical sets from the LEGO Digital Designer program, the really old one. And I don't think this was actually considered a theme, but some of the sets it looks like actually got released into real LEGO sets you could buy in the stores. But I really don't see anyone talking about this theme at all, especially this custom car garage really just sticks out to me. It just looks very interesting, and just the whole concept is actually pretty cool. You get to make your own cars in this garage thing. You can interchange the parts and stuff and make your own custom car dreams. But the cool thing is that there's a CD in here that apparently includes LEGO Digital Designer and some other stuff apparently, which is pretty interesting. But I would kind of put this in the category of like not ever seeing this in the store. Since this set did release in 2008, I would probably expect us to get like a 2-year lifespan. So 2010, I really have never seen this set in stores at all. I never remember seeing it as a little kid. And even then, I would think maybe one of my friends would have it, or I would probably have seen it somewhere else, but I really have never seen this set until literally right now. I do think this is a cool set though. I think if a kid got this as a gift, it would be pretty nice, and yeah, it's not a bad set. It's just I don't think anyone really got it because it wasn't in store shelves. And maybe it was only an online thing. I really don't know. Also, there's this space set, which I don't think is cooler than the car garage, but it is part of the LEGO factory thing. I think it's just worth showing over here. Another one I find pretty cool are these LEGO board games, and I've actually seen these before. I have some of the LEGO board games, and I've played some of them as well, and they're all very fun actually. I've never seen these board game sets in the store. I've only seen them at the thrift store, and even then they're not new and they're always missing pieces. Anyways, on the back of my box, it only showed 3 of the LEGO sets, so I just assumed that there was only 3 LEGO board games, and looking on Brickset, that couldn't be further from the truth. There's so many LEGO board games, like this pretty cool frog chess checkers one. This one's actually really cool. It's like a banana tree with all these bananas, and you actually get a little LEGO monkey. That's actually a very cool board game concept. Not sure how you're supposed to play this one, but this one actually looks really cool. There's just so much to cover on these LEGO board games. I'm probably just gonna have to make a full separate video on it. LEGO Toy Story has kind of always been this weird thing where it would never really be in stores, and even if it was only one set, which was the Lotso's dump truck. Not sure if there was any reason for this particularly, but I didn't see a whole ton of those sets, at least in my store, so I never really got any. And all of them were kind of expensive anyways, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get any either. But if I had the chance to get these poly bags, I definitely would have. These I think are very underrated and really under the radar. I don't think a whole ton of people have these. I think the fact that these are poly bags kind of gives the reason why not a whole ton of people probably didn't have this, because typically these poly bags are usually on the end cap, or when you're checking out of the store they're probably like right by the register, or even if they are in the LEGO aisle they're typically like in a bin somewhere, but those are like in very few stores. I kind of don't see that too often. Basically they're not normal LEGO sets, so they're not going to be super easy to find like on shelves. They're going to be randomly in the store. Anyways, those are kind of my reasons why I don't think a whole ton of people have these poly bags, since LEGO Toy Story, at least for my store, was already super hard to find, and having to find LEGO Toy Story poly bags was almost nearly impossible. I'm not a fan of the LEGO action figure sets, but LEGO Hero Factory, there was just something different to it. These sets were typically part of the whole action figure line thing, so I didn't really like it too much. But apparently they actually did make minifigure scaled versions of these, and they made about like 10 different sets. So like they had the big action figures scaled down to a more minifigure like scale, and it actually looks really cool. I remember all the Hero Factory sets being in stores. I never once saw these minifigure scale Hero Factory sets ever. And again, I think most of these sets kind of fall into the category of just not being available or not being super accessible, since these sets again had such a short lifespan of only 1 year, and then they just moved on to do the normal big action figure sized ones like they were doing previously. If you didn't have any of these LEGO sets in this video, you probably most likely did have a LEGO City set at some point of your life. Now I know LEGO City has all the different sub themes they do, like Coast Guard and Fire and like Police and all the other ones that most people know about.
Hurry, get the tractor. Hey! Build the tractor. Mount the wagon. Drive to the new farm and bring home the harvest.
The LEGO City farming sets only kind of came around once, and they never really came back only until recently, but still I don't really feel like they're kind of the same farming sets like the original ones. I don't think a whole ton of people really know about these either, because they only did it once and they never brought it back, so it's not really super common, but they only made I think about 3 or 4 sets. So these sets didn't really have a super short lifespan like all the other LEGO sets I showed in this video, but I do think it's interesting that they brought it back for 1 year and they didn't really bring it back until like 2022. I mean, there's so many different things you could have probably done. It probably would have gone expensive to make so many animal molds for like a whole farm, but I don't know. I think the whole thing was actually very nice. I don't know why, but this car with the horse trailer thing just looks so good. I don't know why. I'm not even like a huge horse person, but I just think this set looks super good. And all the other ones look good as well. Even the small ones just go well. I don't know. I feel like it's more common probably that some people watching this video have at least one of these farm sets. So I wouldn't say these are like super rare or anything. And again, I feel like a kid who's into farming or animals or tractors or those types of things would have probably gotten these sets. Anyways, these aren't super rare or anything, but they are probably the least common out of all the LEGO City sets. I know at least one person also, while we're on the topic of LEGO City sets, has had like one small LEGO City set, whether it be a poly bag or one of the small boxes of just a minifigure doing like its job, whether it's like a small police car or a small fire truck or something like that. I've seen a lot of the LEGO City smaller sets, but this one is probably the rarest small LEGO City set I've ever seen. It's so obscure. It's not really rare. I mean, I don't know. I've just never seen this at all. It's just very random, but if you actually grew up having this set, that's actually pretty cool. Anyways, I think a lot of people knew that these LEGO Fusion sets existed, but they never got them, and for good reason. The augmented reality thing was not cool enough to spend so much money on these overpriced sets, and you're practically getting nothing for what you're paying for. And the whole thing was just so confusing, and I don't think a lot of people really wanted to deal with all that stuff. Plus, you actually had to have a tablet, and it wasn't super common back in the day like it is now. And even if those sets were released today, it still really wouldn't be anything, since now today no one really cares about all that augmented reality stuff. I mean, we have virtual reality that just blows it out of the water, and that technology is so outdated anyways, it probably wouldn't have worked either. Anyways, with all that being said, a lot of this is just my opinion, so don't take all of it or any of it as fact. Maybe some people had some of these sets while they were growing up, and they're like a fundamental part of their childhood, and they actually have very fond memories of these sets. If you had any of these LEGO sets, please comment it below, because I'm super curious, and maybe share a story, maybe a memory that you've probably had with it or something. And I don't know everything, so there might be some information tied to different LEGO sets that I might not know about, that I might not have said in this video, so also keep that in mind. Anyways, with all that being said, thanks so much for watching this almost 10-minute long video. The fact that you have that much attention span is crazy, but yeah, again, thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.